adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on.
Welcome back to the No Snooze Podcast, episode 22.
Bang.
Double deuce.
That's right.
We did it again. This time it took us an hour and a half to get ready.
At least.
Their adversity, bring it.
The struggle, we welcome it. Snooze on life, never that.
My shirt was off because I was taunting Dave with my new and improved pod bod.
Yeah.
Dave never sent us an outline today, so we might go off the rails. Dave, where are we starting?
All right, so I think the first thing is we'd have to acknowledge how long it just took me to set this contraption up. It was no joke. We had a great business conversation, so that took about an hour. But then the lighting in my house, for whatever reason, is, I don't know, the beams are kind of shining. It's making me look bald. It's turning my beard gray. So it took me a minute to get ready here.
What kind of plant is that? That looks incredible in the background.
Oh, that is I don't know what kind of plant it is.
The money tree?
Yeah, I like it. I like that.
Yeah. I got to get some greenery in my house.
Yeah. So I figured today we can talk, and it's very, I guess it's just good timing because I could have really lost it just now. Just everything was just going against me. It was crazy. I literally turned my house upside down. So I apologize to my wife for that. She's actually downstairs. My dog is all anxious because I was running around like, I gotta set this up. I gotta set this up. And you guys heard the whole thing. So we're gonna talk a little mindset and self-talk, breaking barriers, that whole impact on our lives today, right? But before we do, I would be remiss if I did not give you an opportunity to talk to us first about the incredible PodBot update.
I'm on a run. The tortoise is just chugging along. He's not in striking distance yet, but
Right.
I'm just chugging along. Strongest I've ever felt. Most fired up I've been in a long time. It's the breaking the barrier.
I think I saw a little, even the core coming in too. So you're eating right. Your push-up game is on point. I'm not really competing with you in terms of the number of push-ups. But if we happen to look, I did 4,190 this week. I think
week's not over.
I think you did 3,600 to date.
You're claiming victory.
No.
In the third quarter.
No. This is not the end of the week by any means. But I'm just going off of the app like you did last time. I sold myself short because I added it up. So the app just says 4,190 to Dave Regina, and it says 3,600 to Mike Pirelli.
Do you see me climbing the charts though? I'm passing people left and right.
See, so I swear to God, on my wife and my unborn child, I haven't even watched that. I haven't even looked at that one time.
You better start looking.
So now that you said it,
people are coming up.
I might have to start looking. But are you going to ask me how I'm doing?
Don't really care, but I will share my technique, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
So my fatal flaw when I did it the first time was I wasn't eating enough. I was trying to cut weight while also building muscle. Mm-hmm. And what I was doing was just making myself super sore right off the bat and was just like super tired. So this time I upped the protein intake. I chug a cup of egg whites at 5 a.m. I do a protein shake at 7. I eat eggs at 10 because if I'm home and not showing. And then like 2 or 3, I'll either do leftovers of like chicken or an afternoon snack like Quest cookie or chips and coffee. Nice. And I throw some collagen peptide in that. And then dinner, I do like a legit dinner of like salmon or whatever. Or if we eat out, I'll allow myself to just like have a burger because I'm working and taxing the body so much now to get it to a level. And then once we get to like maybe end of May, I'm going to start cutting the weight and try to bring out the muscles. So I'm trying to build a lot of protein, still eating well, but not crazy. And then just try to do like an extreme cut to get ready for this baby.
Okay. I like the technique. I think you're going to struggle a little bit without the carbs, but I always stay on a low carb diet myself, especially when you're trying to compete and create this nice physique that you have now. So it's definitely smart to keep it low carb. I would just change it to a low carb versus a no carb, if that makes any sense.
That's smart.
But so thanks for asking about me. So like I said,
Dave, how you doing? I see you're wearing our sweatshirt you say to promote, but I think it's to cover up. There, you're getting a little thick.
Listen, I'm just tight. This hoodie happens to be XL, but we just fill things out nowadays, but so last week, well, I guess up until right now, it's 156 miles logged on the Pelly. The Pelly crew is in full effect, if you haven't noticed. Right?
I'm not on the group text, so you got to give the updates, Pelly updates.
No, not the group text, because there's a couple different ones. But I'm just saying, like, there's just people that are rallying behind this whole Pelly wave, and obviously a lot of people have them in their house, so it's fun to compete with everybody. They tag us in the posts, and we just do hashtag Pelly crew. So I hit my goal for the week. I am climbing the leaderboard. I am chasing Alex Toussaint, who happens to be like the lead instructor of Peloton. So
do you know him?
You actually met him as well. He came to Dana and Mo's wedding when we went. Really nice guy, but he happens to be like one of the faces of Peloton. So,
really?
Yes. But this dude logged a 900 output in 45 minutes, which is absolutely absurd. It basically takes your cadence, which is the speed, and the resistance, adds it together, and that's how you get your output. So my best ride so far has been like 812. So he's been an instructor for 3 years, and he's at 900. So I'm going to give myself sub 6 months. I'm catching him. So
what's his height and weight? I need like a description so I can figure out who you're chasing.
So it's ironic. It doesn't have anything to do with your height and weight. This cadence and this resistance.
No, I know, but
two numbers.
For personal reference, what do you think he is? How tall?
He's probably maybe 5'10", 5'11"-ish.
Don't short him.
I don't know. I don't know. He could be 5'9". To me, he's 3'5" anyway. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
Because I'm climbing the leadboard. Your brother is trying to chase me too. Him, Philly Cat.
He's got little legs, man.
Yeah, but he's
little legs.
He's getting good, man. I'm getting a little nervous. I can't tell him that. And
he's kind of built like a biker.
Because we're in quarantine, I'm pretty sure he's not listening to the podcast right now. But him and Phil, they're definitely keep me on my toes. So every ride we do, we kind of set the bar higher for one another.
I'm sorry to keep interrupting, but Phil looks great.
Mm-hmm.
He looks good.
He does. And what's funny, I'll record it because we were just talking about it before. You got to see me lifting these 3-pound weights and dying. Oh, but dying though too. Like I'm riding this bike and I'm literally lifting weights that's like this. And
Fun fact, we used to do a workout class in high school. It was me and Phil, and it was all like single moms in town. And then it was this guy, I forget his name, Troy, I think it was. And he used to make mixes. So one day me and Phil were like, Troy, let us make the mix and we'll bring it in, and I guarantee this place will go wild. So every week Phil and I would like put a mix together, and it'd be like Dream. You remember those songs Dream had?
Yes.
Like Ditch That.
Oh, yes.
So we used to throw bangers on, and that was the most electric workout class I've ever been a part of. Like it was the most fun. And it was just like, they were all high-fiving us, but we were dying because it was like 2-pound weights, and the women were crushing it.
Yeah, it's serious. It's a different way of training, but I don't think I'm losing anything. I think I'm gaining. I ride the bike at a really high resistance, so the weight might keep going up, Mike. But I am here. I understand you're trying to catch something, but understand I live this lifestyle. I do this. I've done this. I'm about this life.
I am going to be so proud when I hit a certain mark and we know what we're talking about, and B, when I just pop in a Pelly class and you'd be like, is that Mike? And I'm just
and you're just going on it.
Yeah,
I'll wait. I'll wait for the day. But
my parents have a Pelly, so I could be hopping in.
They do. That's true. But
make sure you post when you plan on jumping in. Maybe I'll hop in.
I will assure you that you cannot sustain the push-ups and do what I'm doing on the Peloton. So it's not even a competition.
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me off my game because I am on fire.
I know, like last episode, you told me I'm threatened. So I guess
you are. I can tell. I read
absolutely.
people. You know, I read people.
Read me like a book. You see
I'm
me?
reading it like a book.
Read me like
There's
a
only
book.
one page on that face.
These are 10 pages right here.
10 pages.
All right. Enough of us. Let's talk about the beautiful, heavily pregnant wives. We are, 34 and 33 weeks pregnant?
They're just so pregnant. That's all I know.
So pregnant.
So pregnant.
How's Dana doing?
I forget that she's pregnant sometimes, and she'll like stand up and be like, whoa. And I know I say it a lot, but even more so now because it's are you
serious?
You know it's weird when for example, I have a couple deals that I'm working on, and the closing dates are in August. And what's after August? November?
September.
So it's late. Waking up at 5.
Definitely clipping that on Instagram.
So knowing that those closing dates, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, that is potentially after the baby's here.
Right.
I'll be a father if that deal closes at that time.
Yeah, but how about you'll be a father in like 6 weeks, bro? So
yeah, but that reminds me because it's a date that's past that.
Right.
That's
and
on
you're
the schedule.
Into it.
And I'm putting it in. I'm like, when you pass that page where it's the due date, July 1st, I'm like, you look at that, you're like, oh, I just passed my world's never be the same. Well, have you had those thoughts? But Dana's doing great. Dana's doing great.
Good. No, that's really what matters. But yes, I do have those same thoughts. I think about it every day, and I have, I've geared everything towards that. Things that I do every day, I kind of start thinking like, wow, how am I gonna do this? And we set up the stroller, the car seats, and I don't know what one other thing that we set up. Stroller, car seats, and the bassinet. So we're setting that all up, and my sister-in-law was great. Mother-in-law came over, they kind of did that. But then I'm bringing it upstairs. We bring it into the car. And the way I was carrying it, the baby would have fell out 4 times, right? So
just like football?
Yeah, literally, I had it up here. Like there's clearly a handle for it.
You would be the only person that would carry a basket like that.
I was carrying the car seat like this, and then I was trying to clip it in. But the way I was jerking it around, clearly can't do that when, baby girl comes. So
I know I call you a Neanderthal, but that's pretty Neanderthal right there. Carrying a basket like this.
But yes, I agree. They're both doing well. So that's the Prego update. Now the heavily favored No Snooze recommendations. What do you got for us this week?
You go first this week. I got to think about it for a sec.
Okay. So I've spoke about it before. And again, I try to use things that I try to talk about things that I'm utilizing on a daily basis. But I have, it's made by Silk, but it's almond and cashew milk plus 10 grams of protein. Usually almond milk doesn't really have protein in it. So they created this, new mix, and it is absolutely phenomenal. You can catch it on sale at ShopRite. But I drink 2 cups a day, so it's an extra 20 grams of protein, only 150 calories, so it's good.
How much protein you take in a day?
A day, I try to get anywhere. Now I'm probably, down to like 150 to 200 grams. But when I'm really on my stuff, I make sure that I am, 1 gram per pound of body weight. So that would put me, above 200 to 230 around there.
All right. I think I'm getting a good amount in, cause my morning shake's like 50. My eggs are 30.
Yeah, you're definitely,
I'm probably getting a good amount.
Yeah, you're definitely solid. But now, it depends. There's a lot of studies out there that say your body really can't absorb over 30 at a time, over 50 at a time. But sometimes that's
what self-talk's for, though.
Yeah, no,
absorb it.
It's not a bad thing, and obviously you're gonna, urinate a lot of it out. But you're definitely on the right track in terms of you consuming that amount of protein, because it does make all the difference for sure. People don't realize, and if you aren't into fitness like that, protein actually helps to recover the muscles. So when you work out, especially doing like push-ups and weights and stuff like that, like your muscles are constantly tearing. They're actually tearing inside you. So the protein helps that recovery process. Whereas the difference between protein and the carbohydrates really give you the fuel, right? So that's where your energy source comes from.
So like mixing it with water and then rubbing it on my muscles was the right way to use it, right?
100%. And then taking it and throwing it in the air.
Throwing it everywhere.
Doing the LeBron.
So
go ahead.
On the point of carbs, my guy over at Duxbury Made,
it's backwards.
Connor, it's upside down too.
There you go.
So kind of sick branding. I don't know if it's mirrored here, but Duxbury Made, he made a No Snooze pizza paddle, which is incredible. And go check out his Instagram page and TikTok. He's got very mesmerizing stuff.
His page is incredible, man.
Yeah, he gets like 4.4 million views.
Wow, 4.4 million?
No. We got his post of this got 50,000. I didn't even have any.
Wait, Mike. You just said he gets 4 million views? Yeah. So we made it. So that's it.
No, we made it. So he makes this sick stuff. You can send him anything. I think he makes skateboards now.
He
makes
awesome.
everything.
It looks incredible.
He can, and Connor, correct me if his name's Connor. He can make anything out of wood. You need a weight set, he'll make it out of wood.
He'll make it out of wood. Wow. That is awesome. It's backwards. It's upside down.
So this is the pizza paddle, and there's going to be some content coming out where maybe some homemade pizza soon. So
I thought you were going to say there's going to be some contact, like we're going to start a spank bank with that thing.
No, I bet you if I played golf with this, I would still shoot as poorly as I did last week.
I don't know, man. I think
self-talk.
Isn't that the thing that the fraternities use too?
No, that's the long skinny one. This is actually for a perfect size pie, about 8 to 10 inches.
Wow, your head is ginormous, dude. If that's for the size of a pizza, and your head is literally the size of a pizza pie.
I have a big head.
This is ridiculous.
We're like the odd couple. Look at the side angle of it.
And then
that's like a flat pie.
You have this massive dome, and I have this little bean head.
That's why it makes my body look small. Else I'd look bigger than you.
Yeah, and that's why it's all an illusion, right? You just self-talk yourself, right, Mike?
But yes, Duxbury Made, love his stuff. That's my guy. Go check him out. Go order some stuff. He makes cheese boards and stuff too. I'm going to start using him probably for closing gifts because people love a good charcuterie.
Oh, that's true. And I actually
can you spell charcuterie?
Yes. CHARCUTERIE.
I have no idea. So someone check that. It sounds right.
CHARCUTIE. I don't know. I might have got it wrong. If I wrote it down, I would have been able to do it, but I don't know. So that's good stuff. Definitely check them out. Thank you, Connor. I know it's for us apparently, but I already know that it
came to Daddy's house.
It came home to Mr. Pirelli. So we'll just have to wait our turn, Claudio.
Listen, I have a dog named Pizza. I earned it. But that's true. We could share it. It's like a trophy, when someone wins a trophy and they pass it around.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. All right, you ready?
Whatever.
Whatever. You ready to rock this epi now?
I thought we were already rocking.
Yeah.
All right, Claudio just posted. It left.
I definitely spelt it wrong. Charcuterie he said 2 T's in it, I guess. I wouldn't.
That's going to be a great clip when we're putting Claudio, you got to clip that and then put the spelling. And just it's so wrong.
Get a clip of me saying what a good speller I am because I always brag about it. And it's just
I'm not English. English is not our strong suit or spelling. So
or math. Right.
I'm good at math.
Yeah,
I can do math.
Yeah. I sold 1 house, 2 house, 3 house.
4 plus 4 is 8.
That a boy.
Carry the 1.
Oh, he said 1 T. You were right. Thank you.
Oh,
stop
nice.
doubting No Snooze spelling. All right.
Charcuterie Dave.
That's right. I like that. All right, man. So as I sat outside today for a little bit, and as I kind of go through the outline, think about the epis, I tried to figure out. I really want to simplify things. I don't like to make it difficult. I know sometimes I do that, but if we're going to talk about like self-talk and I guess, the power of positivity, the power of negative self-talk, kind of breaking barriers and stuff like that. The first thing that came to my mind was my dad and how he literally instilled this in me from an early age. And it wasn't even trying to teach me. It was just him doing it. And I remember thinking to myself, like, dude, your life is tough right now. I'm not going to talk about all the challenges and the adversity that we've been through. That's for another time. But no matter the situation, he would always resort to positivity, right? And it wasn't now I guess like a fugazi thing, something that's fake that he was just saying to say. Like he would say something and then he would like take the action to go ahead and now flip it forward, right? So another funny story. Today, as I'm outside, I told my wife, like, I've been doing this for a long time. She's like, well, what's something you can remember that you've done this? So I call my brother up and I'm like, Matt, do you remember when I would just sit outside and shoot free throws? And do you remember when I was coaching you in basketball and I would always say to you, one specific thing? And he's like, no, I don't really recall, right? So he had no idea. So I said,
that drives me nuts.
Oh, dude, it was terrible. And then my wife is like, yes, winning. So I called, who I called? I called Jimmy Gemma.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, Jim, I'm going to ask you this question and I want you to finish it for me. So I used to have this routine where every time I stepped to the free throw line, my routine was very simple. It was 1, 2, 3 dribbles in front of my right knee. And as I would do that, I would dribble the ball 1 and say I. The second time would be M. And the third time would be great. I am great.
You said it out loud?
Every single time. No, I said it in my head. But I remember, so Jimmy was.
I just had this vision of I am great.
Right. But so now Jimmy, he remembered it right away. And he said, yo, I still do that to this day. Jimmy was doing that in 5th grade. Turned out to be a very successful high school basketball player and college athlete. But sure enough, my own brother didn't remember it. Jimmy Gemma, shout out to you, brother, because he saved me and he remembered it right away.
It's funny what sticks with people. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything that I've done forever.
I don't know. But so and he was literally in 5th grade. The dude he graduated college already now. So it was little things like that's a very specific example that I remember utilizing it. And it really changes the whole trajectory of it. But also, I was not a great free throw shooter the first part of my career in high school. But then I not only started saying that, but I started following that with my behavior of now staying after practice, saying that positive thing, and now shooting extra free throws to get really good. In athletics, I feel like it's easy because, we're so competitive as athletes, and it's something that you always do. But people can see right through it when it's fake, And then if you tell yourself you're going to miss a free throw, you're going to miss that free throw. Yeah. Right. So I don't know if there's something that you can think of, because that was step 1 for me. I had to sit back and say, like, whoa, what's something that I can really think about in terms of the self-talk?
This is kind of relevant, but I always tell myself I don't get hungover. So.
Oh, you do that. I know. Yeah. I know you.
And I don't.
I know that you do that.
Very rarely.
That is true.
In extreme scenarios, I will, but I tell myself that, and then I also say I don't need sleep. I say that all the time.
Yeah.
And which works to an extent.
Yep.
The funny negative one that I didn't used to say, but it used to follow me, was I was a slower runner when I got older. Bad knees, just a mess of an athlete. And I had a coach, and he used to say, Pirelli, get the piano off your back. So whenever I'm like the eating competition, when I was slowing down, Catalan, Phil and Matt were texting, get the piano off your back. So it's funny how certain things stick with you, but it does motivate you.
Oh yeah.
Now it's the too strong. Just saying that over and over, because that there's an arm wrestling show.
But you're now putting the work in too, bro. You're not just saying that. You're also putting the work in on a daily basis. And where we're going to go in this conversation is going to prove the point of taking the action and the behaviors to then stack that confidence on top of the positive self-talk. Because you can't just go out here and just say like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a billionaire tomorrow, and then just sit on the couch. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is, like, I've been there before. Like, I've been religiously working out. I just haven't sustained it. So I know what I can do. It's just getting over the hump. You know?
Can I jump in on that?
I don't know. Sure, jump in. There's no rules here. What, are you going to raise your hand?
Yes,
is this going to turn into the debate again?
No, it's not a debate, but this is part of the, okay, so first, do you want to hear anything that I do in the morning? Because I do this every day too.
Yeah, give it to me.
I guess we'll start there, and then I'll elaborate more into the conversation as it goes on. But we had spoke, I think it's the first or second episode in terms of the habits. Like every day that I wake up, very grateful. It's a gratitude prayer, quick thing, nothing crazy religious. But I always look myself in the mirror as soon as I step into the bathroom after I'm, grateful for a new day, grateful for my wife and this opportunity to step out again. But I look myself in the mirror and I say that today's going to be just a great day. Thank you. Right. And what that does is no matter what happened the day before, that's immediately the first thing I do to start my day. So every single day that I wake up, and I continue to do that now, day after month after month, year after year, it becomes something that's just so self-conscious. And again, all it does is add to my, my confidence bank or whatever. But if you want to stay where you're at in life, like that's okay, not knocking you. But if you want to be average, right, continue to do average things. But at some point, if you want to take the next level and level up and step outside of the box, you have to begin to do different things. So that's what I'm all about. And right now, I think I'm on the path anywhere between mediocre to great. I would like to say, right? I would like to say that I'm on the path to being a great individual. Go ahead.
Apparently you are great. You tell yourself every day.
Oh, every day. Well, I am great. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of what you were just saying about how you can't sustain it, this is a problem for everybody in life, I think, as human beings. Why is it that like 90% of us, we set these really great goals on January 1st for New Year's, and then we're done with those goals by February 1st? I believe that what you truly feel about yourself is your identity, and you will always revert back to what you truly believe you are worth, if that makes sense. So
I get what you're saying. So for me, I think the problem has been I set a goal and then I get there and I get the weight or the six pack or whatever visually I want. And then I just fall off because I'm like, I got there. I don't make it a lifestyle like you talk about. It's just a certain goal because I found out that I enjoy real estate because there's an end mark where you achieve something within all the other stuff, where you're sold the home, you got the deal done. Sometimes it takes 3 months, sometimes it takes 2 years, but there's a definitive time. Yep. And I think I really like that. So with this process, my goal has to be so far out there so that while I'm getting to it, I feel like I have to solidify all these things as habits and a lifestyle on the way to the huge goal. Does that make any sense? Definitely so like my goals I've done in the past, I've obtained and then fell off because I got to it and then there wasn't another goal to get to. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, and it all plays, I guess, plays into one another. But it makes sense about how you chase real estate because it's your personality, right? You get to work so hard for this deal. Boom, now it's done. Now it's like starting over. You do it again. Boom, now it's done. And you continue that. So I can see just, off of how you think as an entrepreneur, and everything you bring to that table, that makes a lot of sense. But also negative self-talk is like super powerful, right? Yeah. It is, and this is not just something that is, I guess, people just say it. This is scientific, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to jump in because I didn't want to get off the topic of good self-talk because I want to shout out Braun because in their book, we've talked about it, but he says bronze were created different, right? Or we are whatever the term is. Yep. And I really like that. And I think I'm going to steal it for when we have the daughter. Yeah. So that's a good one. The anything worth doing is worth overdoing. I say out loud all the time, and Dana repeats it back to me. So I'm starting to brainwash her.
That's right. It's almost a real, brainwash, but now it's not just saying it. You got to go do it. You got to go attack it. You got to get after it.
But saying it's part of it, like saying it out loud. And then you start to believe it type of thing.
Did you, so I was listening to this great podcast and they were just telling the story about the 86 World Series. I think it might have been Boston and maybe Mets. I forget who. But anyway, this guy at first base booted the legendary ground ball right through his legs. Do you know that he went on record before the game and said, this is going to be the absolute – he said two things can happen. This will be the best feeling in the world, or a ground ball will go right between my legs and I will lose the World Series for us. Like when you speak that, right, when you speak that into existence, I'm not going to preach to you on the science behind it. Go look at it yourself. But they say it's anywhere between 40 to 70% when you think it, and then 10x, which is something we've spoke about, right, on Tom Bilyeu's podcast. He talks about that too. It's 10 times more likely to happen as soon as you verbalize that out into the open. Again, not scientists here. I take that information in. I don't want any part of that. And I'll tell you this right now. Positivity, can't work with a negative mind. It just can't. The two can't. You can have times that you're down in the dumps and you're feeling it. I look at what I just went through, literally setting this up, right? But it's how you bounce back and, you circle back, come back to the center. What do you go?
Yeah, I think the self-talk is a lot of times for me, the self-talk is little mottos that I've incorporated, and I don't even realize I'm doing it until I start consciously thinking about it. So the term can't, I really don't use it. I say, I try to convert it to how can I? And it's something I started doing now, and it's a habit where someone will say, oh, we can't sell this condo, or we can't do, I can't wake Petey up with me. Why can't we do that? How can we wake him up and let him walk? So get a runner. So it forces you to think creatively. So it opens your mind up more. So I've done a lot of stuff that kind of opens your mind up. How can I continue to do No Snooze once we have kids? Right. All right, well, I can make a home office in the basement, so I have easy access to everything, and I'm able to maintain a higher output. How can I scale? So the how can I, constantly asking yourself, how can I? And just questions have been helpful. So the self-talk with questions. Here's
a fun fact for you, and you'll like this too. Again, this is just common knowledge that's out there. This isn't my claim or anything like this. Go look at the science behind this. Your brain is obviously works like a muscle. It's one of the strongest components of our bodies, if not the strongest by far. Your brain cannot interpret the difference between when we say something negative about somebody else versus us saying it in our head. It interprets it the same. So us going out and talking bad about people, our brain actually takes that and it stores it in the negative cloud, whichever part of the brain that is, and it utilizes that. That's amazing to me, and I'm very mindful of that now too. And then also, your brain is the retention in your brain. It's absurd. So little things like I am depressed becomes now, it moves from self-conscious to a conscious state, right? So if you're feeling depressed, it's one thing. Once you put it out there, now you are depressed. So instead of saying I am depressed, I am upset, something so easy as just saying I feel, your brain interprets I feel as a temporary state versus I am being, a permanent state. It's really amazing stuff. And you can get into the crazy elaborate science behind it. Look at me, I'm getting excited over here, using my hands like crazy.
Yeah, but the 2-for-1 whammy is when you self-talk or speak positively about yourself or in a positive light as if it's happening, and other people hear it, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because you put it out and you explain that you're going to do something, and then the right people are attracted to go do it. So it's logical. Something I've been really putting out in the universe is that I'm going to focus on condos, commercial as well. I talked about the commercial stuff. I'm still doing that, but trying to figure out how I can scale and kind of speed up the process of doing more deals. My thought, you have enough volume in condos that you're able to do it because you're selling basically the community.
Yep.
Like it's a mini Greenwich within Greenwich.
Right.
And you can scale that quicker because you have proof and there's hard numbers. So saying I am going to be the condo king or just like joking around with Dana, I start to believe it even when it's around the house.
Well, that's
like,
proving,
I'm the condo kid.
That's proving that point
kid.
right there. That's literally proving that point that I just said, because it works against you in the negative.
And we were killing Frank earlier, but he used to say, and I don't know where he got it, and I'm sure I've mentioned it before. He always says, if you don't sweat yourself, no one else will, which is a very funny thing.
But it's the truth.
It made sense, though. I think about it all the time.
It is 100% true. So you bring up a good point in business, right? And I always like to relate, what we talk about to those three pillars, like our business, the family and the relationship piece, but also the fitness journey, right? So what I do and I want to give you some like tangibles, but in business, self-talk definitely works, but it is heightened on top of preparation. Right. Preparation for me is definitely the biggest thing when it comes to business. But then I told you, like, I get nervous when I walk into a room of people that I don't really know. And I also get nervous when I have that. When I know you said that before, because you didn't think that it was me, because I hope that I don't show that, because I truly believe that I'm going to walk into a room, I'm going to command respect. Just off of me walking in there and greeting everybody, being very friendly. But I literally tell myself, whether it's with, my team that I work with on a daily basis, or I have to go propose something in front of, some higher up. I tell myself that I'm going to kill this meeting. I'm going to crush it. I know that I'm going to, why are you laughing? I didn't say I'm going to kill the person.
Term kill.
I didn't say I'm going to kill the person.
Your language is so funny. Like it's so visceral.
Right, it is, but it works. Like it works for me.
It's
so
good.
I know,
it's your language.
Yeah, and it builds this like confidence meter in me. And again, is this always going to be the most successful meeting in the world? No. How do you think I felt when they told me that your raise isn't going through? Like that's a fall, like we always talk about. But my confidence meter is always up here because of the preparation and the positive self-talk. Now, when you knock me down, it might come down a little bit for a second, but better believe that I'm coming back at you full force. So when I was thinking about it, that's something in business that I could definitely relate it to.
Yeah, personal-wise too, you are, if you're giving yourself good self-talk, then you have the confidence to give other people self-talk. So like Dana every once in a while is like, do you think I'm going to be a good mother? And I keep saying, you're going to be a great mother. We know this. You know this. Because you're confident in your abilities to, obviously we trust our wives and we have faith in them, but it's important to have no hesitation and say that to someone.
Right.
Business partners, family, whatever it is, just to be, to give that type of boost, because you know how important it is, and not to hesitate is a good habit.
That's a great point.
I'm getting more conscious now because I'm realizing that your kids hear everything you say.
Everything.
So every time I say something dumb, or I'm like, that wasn't good. Or I'm like, I snap. I've been really good about snapping. See, I keep telling myself that I have. There's some certain scenarios where I would have snapped in the past and I just let it roll off my shoulder.
Yep.
And if you are close to the family, you know what I'm talking about.
But isn't it nice to see the progression and even acknowledging like, wow, the old Mike Pirelli would snap here. And you know what? I'm progressing as an individual.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's about. And I feel the same way for sure.
Yeah. And a lot of, I have a lot of things I tell myself constantly just because I'm all the time everywhere. So one of the other things I've been saying all the time is like, I'm too busy to worry about that. As far as other like stuff that doesn't matter, that would just take energy away, which is very difficult to do because all of us, I mean, including me, get distracted by stupid stuff like competition within the market. Like I keep telling myself, don't worry about that. Just do your thing. You're too busy. You have too much stuff going on. Just focus on you, which is one of the hardest things to do because as competitive athletes, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring on that, even though I wasn't the caliber. But I am competitive. I enjoy athletic competition. So you're so tuned to be that type of person that in anything you get, even with Dana for board games, I'm terrible. I'm so competitive. Growing up with Frank and talking constantly at each other, it's so hard to turn that off.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing. Everyone should have a little darkness with the competition, but it drains a lot of energy when you're focusing on, other people and things that are going on and feedback. I know for us, we're going to start getting more and more feedback. And the more we put ourselves out, the more feedback we're going to get.
Right.
So you just constantly have to tell yourself, I'm doing what I should be doing. Just stay the course, because people try to knock you off it.
Oh, of course. And I'll give you, now going to the relationship piece, you just spoke about, your wife and how good of a mom she's going to be, and constantly always, reminding her of that. My self-talk when it comes to the relationship is the gratitude, right? And it works for me. So in business, it's the preparation followed by the self-talk. Now in my relationship, I use the gratitude, and I think we've I had mentioned this, like I look at her belly, like I had said, but what happens when you're in that blown up fight? Like what happens, right? It's terrible. Like you literally want to explode. But now what I do, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm upset, and I am negative in that moment. But as soon as I step away, because the first thing I always do now is I have to separate myself, right? And I've told you my techniques on that. But when I do separate myself and I come back to center, the first thing that I do is I acknowledge the negativity. Like I acknowledge that it was there, because I can't just be like, yeah, it didn't exist. No, it existed, and I probably made a mistake. She made a mistake maybe. But then after that, it's like, okay, now turn it to a positive self-talk and be grateful for the opportunity to even have the wife that you have right now. Like you really need to do that, because God forbid, and I put myself in tough scenarios all the time, and we'll get to this when we talk about the fitness piece. God forbid something were to happen to my wife, though. Like I need to think like that all the time to be able to snap out of it in a quick moment. I know a lot of people probably won't agree with that, but like that really works for me.
Yeah. It's the mental, to be able to control your mental state is like the biggest thing you need to be able to do emotion wise in everything. If you can control that, you're in good shape. It's very difficult, especially hot-blooded Italians like ourselves.
And to echo that, controlling is one thing, but then also I like to think about it when it is negative, I just have to minimize it, right? Like it's going to happen. So you know it's going to happen. Like me, I'm a hot-headed guy, so I know that I'm going to be upset. Literally look at like social media posts yesterday, right? I spent a ton of time the past couple of days trying to create like new content and trying to be really innovative. And it sucked. Like I literally thought that I was putting this great thing out there, and it was a really good clip. I thought they were good clips, and I thought we were going to get, 7, 8, 1,000 views on it.
Million.
Right. 700, 800, and then 1,000 views is what I was saying. But sure enough, back-to-back 400 clippies, like terrible performance. And I was pissed. I'm like, damn, like I just spent my whole day, trying to create this. And you know what? It sucks. So I sat there for a minute. Once I got over it, I took an action. So I went back in and I said to myself, okay, take your mind off of this real quick. So the action that I took was geared towards gratitude, took out the book that I'm reading about becoming a father, read 10 pages of it because it took my mind away from the negative, then was able to put that book down, go back to my wife and say, you know what? I got better today though. I learned how to put some new emojis into a clip. I think it was still a really good clip that's going to remain on the page and people can see it at a later date. But I still feel that I got better even though I took that L. So it's talking yourself through those types of things that typically we don't pay any mind to until you're mindful of it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just getting tricks and figuring out yourself to combat the negativeness. So
for me, it's action. I like gear left. I have to go do something.
Well, action, and then the gratitude piece that you talk about. Now I find myself thinking, I think my mom says it. She says something to the extent of like, if it's just money or if it's just an item and everyone's healthy, who cares? It's right. She says, bleep this out, but it happens all the time. So I've kind of adopted that with the house, because in the beginning things would break and I'd get real stressed out, or basement would leak, or something, I would screw some, put a hole in the wall. And then at one point I'm like, you know what? It's not important. It's not worth getting frustrated, or who cares,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which you can be laissez-faire about certain things like that. And then it frees up the energy to put time into things that actually matter, you know?
Of course. And your perspective, like we always say, your perspective drives performance every day of the week. It doesn't matter what it is. Your perspective will, directly correlate to your performance. I'll get to the good piece that you and CV love in terms of my fitness, right? For whatever reason, this has been like my whole life. Self-talk in fitness works really well for me in savage situations. So like I say really, I guess brain hacking, mind hacking, brain effing things that literally gun to my head, or even better, gun to somebody I love's head. That gun is going to go off. It sounds funny, but that gun's going to go off.
I laugh because
if I don't get that job done. But let me ask you this, Mike, why as human beings,
makes sense.
Let me ask you, right? Why as human beings, if somebody takes a gun to somebody that you love, you are going to do whatever it takes to try to help that person, no matter what, right? Or do whatever the task is at hand. So why can't we put 100% into our business? Why can't we put 100% into our fitness journey? Why can't we put 100% into our relationships at work, with our wives, with husbands, whatever it is? Why can't we do it? Because if that gun was out, you would do that. I do that in fitness, and it translates to other parts of my life, as you know, as well, even when I'm getting places. As long as you can keep it, I guess realistic to know that it's still not real, but really use it as fuel, towards your flame. It just happens to work well for me. And I don't know where I got it. And then what about this? How is it that when you see on the news, there's a couple of these a year, right? It's like pedestrians moved vehicle off of body. Like, how did people take the car? Like if somebody gets hit by a car, have you ever seen that? And they're stuck under the vehicle?
Like a mom or something, yeah.
Like how do they do that? I'm curious. I want to know, and I want to become somebody who can pull that out of myself at any given point.
Maybe we got to hit you with a car and then put you under it so you can try to get out.
But sounds funny, but you get
the
my
adrenaline.
Point. Yeah. I guess, but is it?
You want to be a superhero.
Your physical state doesn't change, is my point. The mind is so strong. Look what the mind is able to do in that moment. That's what I constantly try to do. And it is a little, savage in the mentality, whatever, and people make fun of me for it all the time. But I don't know. It just works for me. And sorry, there's my preaching. I had to start with water.
Yeah, I like that. I've been holding it in because I've had to go to the bathroom since we started. I drank this whole thing of lemonade. Most hydrated coming for you.
Nah.
I like doubt. I like when people say you can't do something. That's what gets me going. So like with the fitness thing, I changed my phone to my face. I know I've said it a couple times.
I have you as my face too. I mean, I have your face on my phone too. You know that, right?
Yeah, I'm a good looking guy. So I just put that up because it was my biggest. Yeah.
Wait, is that the same picture? Look at this one.
Yeah.
Oh no,
you sent it to me.
I have that one.
That's not even a bad one.
No, it's not.
I was out with you.
You
were feeding me Twinkies.
That was, but I just use that as fuel too. So
that was your fault. No, I like doubt. I'm like a 10-year-old kid. When someone says, "Oh, you can't do anything," I put it into another gear. I just like proving people wrong. Not that I've had a tough scenario where we talked about last time. Someone might say something and I'll take it internally the wrong way, but not like that I hate them, just to motivate me.
Right. And I love the fact that we bring that out of each other too. In the moment, it might be like, oh, dude, he's being, whatever. It's just Mike or it's just Claudio. But
it's just water.
It's just water, Mike. It's just
still
water.
Don't get that.
I'm sure you don't. I'm not even going to elaborate on it. I hope you're joking by this point.
Don't go back to it.
I can't. But no, it's figuring out, I guess, whatever works. But the self-talk thing really is something that I think anybody in any barrier in life, like if you apply that self-talk to a small action, that is step one. Setting any crazy goals and even setting smart goals is great, but you have control of your mindset. So there's really no reason for you to be, if it is your new startup company or whatever, and you want to go do something, but you have these negative thoughts, tell yourself the opposite of that, but now combat it stack it on top of taking an action to go find a new lead. Just go send one new email. And when you start to do that on a consistent basis and you start doing it like clockwork and you have a plan in play, you'll be good 99% of the time. And then that 1%, whatever it is, you know what? It centers you, and then you just keep circling back. It's for me, it's the confidence meter, right? It fluctuates, but it's always above water.
Yeah, and if you can keep it short, your self-talk, it helps. At least for me, I like short stuff. So like speed kills is one of my new one too.
Speed kills
for work.
Yeah,
because it's where else?
No, I was just going to say that works for somebody who does push-ups at an alarmingly slow rate trying to catch somebody else.
I'm the tortoise, so I'm a enigma. I'm an enigma wrapped in an enigma with a riddle. The
tortie.
Tortoise. Someone wrote the tortoise. Someone wrote it like famous, and I was like, come on, I'm the tortoise. But speed kills is something I constantly say to myself now, in business, basically in everything, just being first to the punch. Mm-hmm. Day one or one day is 1-2 when I'm starting something new, which I don't do that often. The new stuff, the new big stuff. So I don't know. The barriers is a whole nother.
Yeah, I think we can do a whole episode on, barriers and how you really do it. But, I just gave you a little step one into it. It's a simple talk, but it's followed by a very simple action. And nobody can say that they can't do that. You just don't want to do it. You are seeking some sort of motivation that's going to float out of thin air. That's not going to happen. So until you identify it within yourself, like you can't consider yourself a really high-level business person and a high-level fitness person when your habits and everything else in your life don't align. Like to me, ultimate greatness is sustaining that high level of good habitry. Is that a word? Habitry?
Habitry? Probably not.
I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, right. A good habitry. Right. Good habits across the board. Like I love people who are, self-made millionaires. Awesome. But you don't take care of the thing that will allow you to sustain that wealth over a longer period of time in your own body. That doesn't make sense to me. It just
people do that. Like people are very in their fitness world, they're top of the top, and then habits just don't translate. So I think it's an application of energy and figuring out how to squeeze everything in, because we're limited by time and energy. Mm-hmm. So if you're not doing it efficiently, effective, or conveniently,
that's right, my guy.
Yeah, I keep referencing that.
That's my guy. But it makes sense. It makes sense.
But that's what I'm thinking. I think if you're not recalibrating and trying to squeeze more in, it's not uncommon for one of them to dominate and everything fall to the wayside, which is what we're trying to fight, and not an easy task. Hot take.
No, and it works, man. And clearly what we're not just we're living by the stuff that we're saying. Again, nowhere near where we're going, but we get to document this whole journey. And as we figure it out and we utilize stuff that's worked along the way, and then we adjust things as we continue to move forward, that's, to me, what it's all about.
Yeah, and I think we're learning more and more about ourselves and what motivates us. And the more I think about it, the more I get motivation out of doing like the smirk at the end, where I don't have to say anything, but you know what I'm thinking. That's my favorite moment.
So what do you think I do when I wink into the camera? Like, what do you think those? I can't tell my goal. That's my goal, but
what do you mean?
Like, I do something very similar.
Oh, it's your like smirk type of thing.
Every morning, like, and it's more than just a. Daily. But it's more than just a hey, I'm looking at you with a little wink type.
You're like, you can't keep up type of wink.
You know what I'm saying?
But I like the big payoff where it's someone shaking their head at you, and you're just. I told you.
What's a big payoff?
I told you
though?
is the most fun thing to do is doing the I told you, but not having to say, just going. Like the
Right.
Jordan when he hits the jump shots, like Last Dance. It's like
that is good.
I haven't been. I mean, the ones that I'm going to do this for are pretty big ones. Like certain days when like I talk a big game, and then maybe 10 years from now, I'm like, I told you. You said it was nuts. I told you this was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. And it's not to rub it in people's faces, but like with good friends
Yeah.
that didn't doubt me, but it's just fun to be like, I've said it all along.
But they're not doubters.
With like no snooze, right? Like once it starts getting, it'll be like, we said we're going to do it, you know? Be like, how'd you do it? We said, I don't know. With like the workout thing, I can't wait to the day. And it's all about the big payoff. I don't know why, but like we hit the beach and I'm not saying anything. And you're like, oh, let's see the work now. And you rip it off. Just, I told you. Like Step Brothers. You never seen that movie.
Never seen it. I'm not a movie.
I haven't had a carb in 10 years or whatever he says. That was funny.
I would laugh if I knew the reference, but all right, good stuff. Let us get into some questies. You good with that?
I think. What time are we at?
Yeah,
No Snooze Night Edition.
Yeah, we're
9:38.
rolling. Yep, we're rolling.
Holy hell.
Yeah, that's all right. We're good. So this one, Mike, what is this? Your Instagram name? Food Junkie? So this one, not for nothing, and I know this person, I went to school with them, but how do you view the no snooze mindset? So it's kind of a strange question. It's very like
what do you mean, how do we view it?
I know that right.
At 5 a.m. when we wake up.
So because I don't know exactly what he means by this, I'm gonna take it and kind of run with it in a direction that I think he's talking about. So
Pelly with it.
I view the no snooze mindset as something that we talk about, like not procrastinating, chasing dreams, blah, blah, blah. But the way I think about it would be the same reason I ask you every day, why do you continue to get up and go to work? Like for me, the no snooze thing is a part of my lifestyle. It's not an option, right? We go to work because we have no choice. We have to go to work, right? We have to go to work so then we can pay our bills, feed our families, pay our mortgages, pay our rent, whatever it is. For whatever reason, we get up every day and do some sort of work because of the payoff that's going to happen, right? So no snooze for me is exactly that. The no snooze mindset, how I apply it to our business, our journey together, it's not an option to me. I don't know how something like this can fail unless you completely stop the journey. Because as long as we're continuing to progress and get better, we're winning. So that, to me, is how I view the no snooze mindset. Try to keep it short, but.
Yeah, mine's super short. I think it comes down to getting things done, whether it's smaller goals, bigger goals. For us, it's pretty lofty goals. And the no snooze mindset is to kind of go at it with the tenacity and not caring what anyone thinks of it. Because at the end of the day, you're looking at yourself. You know, I spend a lot of time by myself for work where it's just me. And it's trained me for this scenario of being isolated from an office where I feel like I'm actually thriving because I've been by myself. Obviously, I have a great support system with the company and mentors and friends and family. But, you know, I think I spend a lot more time by myself on a day-to-day in heated situations, high stress, where you find yourself. So for me, no snooze is, you know, depending on yourself and allowing people to depend on you and kind of being a leader and getting stuff done and making everyone around you better. Jordan-esque
in the approach. That was a good answer. I thought you were going to give me something short and sweet, like you. Nah, I don't know. But that was very good, and I listened to that. So I like that.
Trying to captivate you.
That's right. This one came from Kelsey. You got a famous person to go with it?
Kelsey Ballerini. I'm getting into country. Thank you for all the recommendations.
Speaking of.
You know why I'm getting into country? It's very bizarre.
Brett Young. I love Brett Young. That's what I was
Brett Young's great.
Great. Really great.
Getting into country because I want my daughter to be in the country.
Nice. You know what's funny? I have an extreme country playlist. Can't tell you when I listen to it. Yeah. But Brett Young is heavy. I found him, I don't know, probably two years ago. Haven't, listened to all his stuff, but there was one album that he was phenomenal.
Sleep Without You, right? Is Brett Young?
Yes.
They're such good singers. Country singers are so good.
And when you lock into the actual verbiage of it, even if some people, I guess you don't like the sound, but what they're saying is pretty good most of the time.
I have to say too, I've been getting heavy into like the mumble, not the mumble, but the new age rap.
Oh yeah.
I've been diving into the baby.
The baby.
Who's the other one? Gunna.
Yeah.
I forget who I listen to. NBA Young NBA or whatever the guy's name is. The longer and more confusing the name is, the more likely I'll like it.
Yeah, like it, yeah. All right, so, and I want you to answer this one first. She wrote, what's more important to you, discipline or work ethic?
It's a good one. I think work ethics, discipline's a part of work ethic. I think they're pretty interchangeable. I would say if you said one or the other, I think work ethic. Because you can be disciplined, but you could be not pushing hard enough. You can be disciplined about getting up at 10 a.m. and going for a walk. But if you're getting up at, you're not disciplined with getting up at the same time, but you're working like a banshee, I think in the long term, you'll be better off. It's not efficient.
No, yeah, no. And what's funny is I think discipline to me is more important than work ethic because of pretty much, we do this a lot. We say like the same things.
Different ways.
But have different styles, I guess, of saying it. But I would say discipline because work ethic is something that I believe is derived from a discipline. Like you have to become a really good worker at whatever it is because of your own self-discipline. So if I have I'd rather be disciplined because I can learn how to work hard, right? If I am so strategic and so...
you only can have one or the other.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I would go discipline because I believe that through discipline, I can get the work ethic. Whereas you're saying work ethic, you can get...
They're kind of interchangeable. That's a tough one.
Definitely. It's a
like
tough
saying,
question. Definitely.
You have, Kelsey, I don't mean to be negative about it, but it's like saying, hey, if you have a pizza, you want the cheese or the sauce? You need both, baby.
Do you? Because if I
have a good pizza, you do.
I love a good salad slice, brother.
Salad pizza is tremendous. You're right. Did you just make a fact?
What? No.
Did you just make a fact?
I'm actually eating salad pizza after this, and I just crushed a plain slice before. So
you're the equivalent to salad pizza.
Happens to
on
be
the top, you look healthy, and then below, you're just a mush.
mush. This is your favorite section here.
Yeah, snooze or not to snooze.
Would you rather? Would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your life? This is a good one. Good one.
Pause would be, I think, rewind. Like, you would be able to dominate stuff. Be like, all right, I just took that jump shot. I missed it. Let me rewind and nail it. Would it take the fun out of life, though? Maybe. I don't know. You hitting jumpers for game winners left and right because you're like, all right, let's try it this time.
Yep. It's a good answer.
I think I'd take rewind.
And
pause wouldn't be helpful.
I would go pause because it's weird. It's just weird. And I don't know why, but if I think about it, I think I would hit pause. I wouldn't want to rewind my life because I think if I rewind my life and change how it went on, that affects my future. I want to create a future off of my own experiences, but I would like to live in the moment a little bit more, right? So if I can live in a moment and I can hit pause and I'm just in that moment, I think I would do that versus, it would be great to go back to second grade and do it all over again. But
no, I'm not saying going back to like second grade. I'm saying
whatever in life. Yeah, even if you can just go back to do something. I think I'm more focused on my experiences. And if I screw up, I screw up because I'm hoping that the screw up is going to affect the future. So that's why I would pause. I love when
deep
we say
stuff. That. You're pretty good at that. I'm convinced. I would do a pause too. Rewind would ruin your life.
Right? It's tough.
Because then if you rewind, you wouldn't be able to get back what you had.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the type that looks back very much.
No, you don't at all.
I'm like, just keep going forward type of thing.
All right, this one is tough.
Other than we talk about it on podcasts all the time about our past.
Right.
I never look back.
That's true. yeah. Today we were this.
Do we just come off as the biggest bullshit?
Yeah.
Pardon my French.
Would you rather get a paper cut every time you touched a paper item, or bite your tongue every time you ate? Oof.
I would do the paper cut, and I would go straight digital.
Digital marketing.
iPads. I have an iPad now, so
imagine that though. Any piece of paper cut, or anytime you ate, you have to bite your tongue.
Imagine you go to like confetti, confetti hits you and just
just terrible. All right, last one here. Oh, I have two good ones, and I think I want to ask them both.
You're scaring me.
Would you rather hunt and butcher your own meat, or never eat meat ever again?
Wow.
Oh, oy.
I would hunt.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm a hunter. I'm clearly a hunter. You're the gatherer.
I don't know about definitely don't mind the butchering. Like that part, I don't mind. Like
it would be difficult.
If it's dead, and I have to butcher it up, not a problem. Blood, guts, all that stuff, gory, I don't mind. But to kill an animal that's actually alive in front of me,
we might have to cut this because PETA is going to kill us.
I think I got to go vegan here, bro. I don't think I can ever eat meat again.
I think now is one of the best times in history to go vegan.
So did I do it again?
Yep, I'm convinced.
I'm convinced. I'll go vegan.
One of my ear pods went out, by the way, so we're on the clock.
All right, no, we're good. We can.
You convinced me though.
You
flipped me 3 questions so far.
So this one I was gonna ask. Yeah, I'll ask it because your wife is gonna love this one.
Oh God.
Would you rather spend 1 day a week cleaning your worst enemy's toilet, or never be able to ask your wife or anyone else to clean your house?
1 day a week forever?
Forever. Or you have to
never be able to ask anyone to clean the house.
You have to clean the house by yourself every single time you have to clean anything. And you can't ask for help. Yeah. Or you got to show up once a week to your worst enemy's house to clean the toilet.
I'd take the latter. I'd clean my own house. Yep.
I knew it. Dana, that one was
Keep a small house.
Dana, take the gun, put it to his head, and tell him you either go to your enemy, or you have to clean this house and get it done. So he's going to choose the latter for you. So this now brings us to my personal favorite part of the epi, Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
That was good.
It's my guy.
Your pen, the way you throw that pen around, demands power. It's impressive. Do you do this in your meetings?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, it's a good move.
I'm a big this guy with my hands.
I need to find a pen.
I do this.
That's good to show the hands. I don't have many items in front of me. I have one though, and I have a very important one. So I'm going to say it again and for once, I'm going to give Frank Pirelli the 4th. I had to think about it because there's a 5th. My godson, kid's a cutie, little stud, best dressed toddler I've seen in a very long time. If you don't sweat yourself, no one else will.
I love it. But you did not introduce, you didn't even introduce your.
Because I was so fired up and I had a spoon in my hand. And everyone knows Miguelito's mantras. And if I didn't screw it up, it wasn't a mantra.
Ito. Claudio's Cuentos. Oh, here we go. We got Claudio's Cuentos.
What is Claudio's? Mr. I don't want to be on the pod.
Winning doesn't always mean being first. Winning means doing better than you did before. Bonnie Blair, speed skater. Okay, so Claudio's Cuentos.
We'll start calling him Bonnie Blair.
Yeah, Bonnie Blair. I like that. So, Mike, hit us with heat on the feet.
So clearly I'm going with the duck theme today because we had Duxbury made with the pizza paddle. And then I got my Ducks, Mighty Ducks, great movie, Dave. If you haven't watched it.
Oh, Charlie Conway.
Am I in?
You're in, kid. You're in.
What is the name?
I don't see a duck.
Bonus. It's on the front.
Oh, okay. You actually, yes, I do now. If you could be one animal, I think you would be a duck.
Be a duck. A mighty duck.
A mighty duck.
If you can name Gordon Bombay's nickname in the movie Mighty Ducks, I will give you $100.
Gordon Bombay.
Don't help. No help.
Wait, Gordon Bombay. That's not Fulton.
That's the coach.
What? That's
the coach.
Okay, so
if you get this, I'm gonna lose my mind. Put a shot clock on.
Wait.
I'm putting a shot clock. I don't trust you.
What is the question again? I got you. I'm not.
Gordon Bombay, the coach's nickname in the movie.
The coach.
I'm gonna start quizzing you on movies and betting you money.
I know this one too.
I put 100 on it too.
Wow.
You have. I'm starting the clock. You have 24 seconds.
24.
And you cannot look at your phone.
No. Coach. So this is the coach.
People are screaming at their.
I know this is bad.
Watching
this is really bad.
This is a new segment. It's called the shot clock.
This is the shot clock. I like this.
No,
I'm not gonna get it.
10 seconds.
And not Goldberg, because Goldberg's the goalie.
Take a guess. What's the worst?
Coach
Bombay is the Minnesota Miracle Man.
Wow, I wouldn't have got that. I'm 0 for 1 in the shot clock. New Seggy, I like it. The Minnesota Miracle Man, Mike?
I hope I'm right. I'm pretty sure that's it.
You would know the Minnesota Miracle Man.
Because that's one of the best opening scenes is him, crowds going wild, and then he blows out his knee.
Wow. And I've actually seen that movie. That's one of 3 that I've seen.
We were talking about content before we hopped on this. Maybe we do one where you watch a movie for the first time. Or I do too. Like we watch, I've never seen Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I don't know how. I've seen that movie.
We need to find what we both haven't seen. Maybe we watch it, and then we'll cut it up.
Deal. I'm with it. Until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it.
My man. Pizza time for real. Get your pizza game up, Michael.
That's another Effie in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at NoSnoozePodcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze.